Hi guys, Jordan here, and today I wanted to do a video on my first experience with the Heart Chakra. So we're going a bit like off track because the other videos they all were quite sort of clinical and they were like really sort of focused on the topic at hand. But I thought maybe today I'll just take a little bit of a diversion to some of the more personal experiences I've had. So I don't know. I thought maybe sharing some things I've experienced might be more natural or organic. So that's kind of like where I was going with it. So it's going to be a bit more of a conversational video today. Um, yeah, I'm trying to figure out where to start. So I guess we'll just start at the start. So I got into things like meditation and all that kind of stuff when I was about 17, I want to say, about 17 years old. And for me, it began with being introduced to a guy called Lobsang Rampa. And he was a monk from Tibet who wrote many, many books. And all of his books are free, they're online. He has his books are read by a lady called Blue Friend, read by a lady called Blue Friend. They are the audiobooks, and you can find them for free online on YouTube. And the books themselves, you can read them for free online on the website. I think it's called lobsangrampa.org. And yeah, Lobsang had a controversial history, not because he was a bad person, but because people just didn't. There was a lot of people, especially the media, who didn't believe his stories and what he said. But he basically claims that like all of the things that he said in his story were true, and I, for one, do personally believe that they were true. I don't think he was lying, and he was a very, very amazing person. Definitely had a very positive impact on my life, and I would say he was one of the first primary teachers for me when it came to things of a spiritual nature, learning things, experiencing things, things such as this. And I would say it was because of him that I started to have my first spiritual experiences, um, and following that, a lot of things would then soon to open up. So I think I was around the age of 17, yeah, when I started to read Lobsang's books, and that really was my spiritual awakening, if I can use such a term. And in particular, I remember Lobsang was very much interested in out of body experiences, astral projection. And this was a massive thing in Tibet, being able to leave the body at will. And I recall trying to astral project a lot around that time, around that age. And I actually did have a few successful attempts. So that was really amazing. It taught me also a lot about my mind's relationship with the body, because Lobsang teaches you how to use your mind, your imagination to relax. And he says that imagination is what the mind really is. The mind is a like a imaginative matrix, and it is the imagination that tells and instructs the bodies, the cells, and all those kinds of things what to do. And you can use a very simple idea, such as seeing for instance, all of the muscles in your body as like little women or little men who are all busy doing lots and lots of work. They're chiseling and da 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 da, da, and that's meant to be the muscle tissue, reacting to nerve impulses. And you tell all of the men or all of the women, whatever gender you prefer, to relax, get a margarita, sip something on the beach, look at the waves, just chill and relax. And then you can observe as the region of your body that you've given that instruction to imaginatively actually begins to feel relaxed. I used to do this exercise a lot, and I would notice that I would be able to get my hands to lose all feeling, and I could get my legs to lose all feeling. I could basically relax any part of my body with my mind. And that like sort of really taught me quite a lot about meditation and what meditation was and all those kinds of things. And that was sort of the introduction to a lot of such things. But in the meantime, around that time, I was going through a lot. I was a very depressed kid. Primarily, I think the reason why was due to a lot of negative experiences I had in school. I think I was just depressed in general, also in relation to other things that were happening in my environment. And the depression was pretty deep. I definitely had lost connection with my childhood. And I think that inner child stuff, definitely there's some merit to it, because a lot of the core emotions and the core happiness that you feel as a human, pardon me, I think it does extend from when you're a child. Because when you're a child, you're in your most purest form. You're at your most innocence, and all experiences are extremely intense because you're not so left brained. The left brain isn't so activated. And I lost touch with that inner child, that inner happiness, and I then regained it when I learned a certain meditative practice, and this is where the whole heart chakra thing comes in. So it wasn't Lobsang that taught me about the heart chakra. I don't think Lobsang spoke much about chakras at all in his books, actually. Instead, I learned about the heart chakra by Joe Dispenza, Paul Solomon, and a guy called Douglas James Cottrell. I didn't know what the heart chakra really was at this time, but I had heard a lot about it. I heard a lot about people having experiences with a heart chakra where they could forgive people and love people and da 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 da. And it was very interesting for me because I never really had considered that I was having a heart chakra problem. I didn't realize that the depression I was feeling was because I actually had a blockage there. Because it seemed too abstract to think that something like depression could have anything to do with this really strange idea of a heart chakra which exists somewhere in your body. That idea was really strange and really peculiar. I mean, I grew up on the idea that depression was an imbalance in brain chemistry, whatever that means, right? I don't know what that actually means, but that was sort of the idea that was sort of common at that time on the internet. Like, oh, depression is an imbalance of brain chemistry. Well, what's brain chemistry, and how can you measure the balance of someone's brain chemistry? These are the kinds of things that I'd be interested in discovering, and those kinds of things seem more tangible to me than having a imbalanced heart chakra, as you can imagine. But eventually I did take the plunge and I did sort of investigate, well, maybe there is something going on, and maybe there is some kind of relationship with me and my heart chakra. Maybe there's something there. And I learned a meditation from Douglas, where he said, you should meditate on unconditional love. That should be the focus of your meditation. And I can't remember why he said that to me. And Douglas James Cottrell, by the way, he's like an oracle, I guess you could say. He's a very wise man, and he has a YouTube channel, and he does readings for people, and I got a reading from him, and he suggested that I should try and do a meditation on my heart chakra. So I did, and I would say I had my first real spiritual experience. That I've had a lot of spiritual experiences before that because of Lobsang's help, but I had my first real profound, like, this is a big deal, spiritual experience. From then on, a lot of things would happen. But I want to tell you what changed for me, because no amount of I've tried drugs before, like weed, especially I've tried weed. I haven't really tried a lot of drugs. I've tried nicotine. I think I've tried some other things, but I can't really remember them now. None of them have had the effect that experiencing an open heart chakra has had. None of them can compare. It just blows it all out of the park, and I'm not really going to go into all the sciencey stuff today because I'm not really in the mood. But I am just going to talk about like what sort of happened. So the meditation begun just totally normal, as I would usually meditate. I would literally just sit cross-legged with my eyes closed, and there was no special technique that I used to meditate. And I went into the meditation. I was like, I don't even know how to meditate on unconditional love. I don't even know what unconditional love is anymore, because that's how far gone I was in my depression. I was so depressed that I didn't really remember what that felt like. And that was sort of the key. It was like, you felt these emotions before, but you don't know how to feel them anymore because you've gone through this sort of experience which has gotten rid of it. So not knowing what it felt like, I didn't really know, once again, how to meditate on unconditional love, what to focus on, what the technique was. And because I had no idea what to do, I kind of just sat there thinking about unconditional love. And I also just sat there thinking about it for a very long time, because I don't know what came over me, But it was as though as just the simple act of thinking about unconditional love in no real significant way was enough for me to start having these strange memories of when I was very, very young. And this is where the inner child stuff comes back. So I start having memories when I was with my mom. You know, this might be a bit, too much for people, but I remember when I was with my mom and she finished feeding me. When you know what it's like when you're super, super young, you don't eat solid food, you have breast milk. So I had those memories, the memories went back that far, that I could remember, that experience. And, this is kind of disgusting, but I remember being sick, like after having breast milk. I remember what the sick tasted like. I don't know. I don't know why these experiences were so like sort of profound for me that they caused me to have such like a visceral reaction to them. But I remember that. I remember my mum's smile. I remember what my mum's smile looked like when she used to look at me and lift me up in the air. And these memories like were when I was little, like super young. I started remember experiences with my dad. We used to go to the park. He used to do these crazy backflips and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. Imagine what it's like for a young kid. He used to throw me around. We played football. We used to do all kinds of things. I had all these memories coming back to me. And just this surge of energy. Boom! And I'm having the most profound experience of my life. Remembering what love feels like. Because love is amazing. What an amazing force. My entire body heated up significantly. I got really, really hot. Bear in mind, I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting down, meditating. I haven't moved. I haven't gone outside. I'm not running. Okay? But I'm generating enough heat that, you could probably feel it come off my body. I was sweating. I think I was sweating. So something profound was happening in my nervous system. Eventually I had to open my eyes. I was like, I can't take this. This is too much. So I opened my eyes. And life was not the same. After the experience, I tried to bring myself back to normal, but right here, there was this burning sensation. Sorry, you can't see. Right here. There was a burning sensation. Right dead in the middle. Dead in the middle. As though I really did have a center of energy located right here. And then what happened? Well, nothing was the same. I was not depressed anymore. I know that sounds like, what? That sounds like a miracle. Like, how do you go from being depressed to not depressed? I don't know. But that experience was enough to get rid of my depression. I was happy again. See, I seriously was genuinely happy again. It was amazing. And it's lasted for my entire life. I haven't been the same since. There were days following this experience where my heart chakra would activate just spontaneously. And when it would activate, I would explode with a euphoria of love and joy for my environment, for everything around me. I'd just explode with a love and joy. I would have to sit down. I would have to sit down. Like, I couldn't just be normal. I had to sit down and just process what was happening. And just sort of feel this feeling. Like, wow. Just to feel this feeling. Only when it would calm down, I'll be able to actually get up again. I feel like, okay, I can get up. I can live normally. It completely changed my whole perception of life. I couldn't look at things the same way. Especially working. You know how we go to work, get up in the morning, you go to work, you come home. I couldn't look at that the same way, man. When I saw people getting up and going to work, I felt their pain. I felt, you know what? Sorry, I felt what they were going through, and there was this pit in my heart which could understand that there's a level of slavery, you know, sorry to divert, on this planet that's happening that's very subtle. It's guised as capitalism, you know, and capitalism is guised as this wonderful, innovative way of navigating the world, of navigating socioeconomics without causing destruction. But I didn't see capitalism anymore because I was looking at people's emotions directly, and I was seeing that people were depressed. People felt trapped and enslaved. And this isn't an old story, but I was feeling it for the first time. Whereas before my experience with the heart chakra, I had never used to notice these things. I used to think everything was normal. Capitalism is great. I can't wait to go to work. You know, I can't wait to make a living and be rich. Post heart chakra experience, I'm like, I don't want that anymore. I don't want that at all. All I want is deep down for people to be happy. That's what I want. It completely changed who I am. And who would have thought that the opening of my heart chakra, for me personally, I don't know about you guys, okay, was hidden in the memories of my past. It wasn't hidden in the now. It was hidden in the past. Well, anyway, I just wanted to share that with y'all because that experience to me was like really profound. Really profound. And sorry, I'm not using my usual setting. I'm just in my bed right now because we got all our Christmas stuff out, and you know, it's not really an appropriate environment for me to do recording. I didn't think so because there's all this, once again, it's just lots and lots of stuff out, things that maybe a bit private and stuff like that. So I decided to not film that today. But yeah, sorry guys, I didn't want to do a video of all technicalities and you know, explanations and sciencey stuff. I'm not going to try and explain the heart chakra. I'm not going to bother. I just wanted to do a video on this experience I went through when I was 17. That just really, it was totally novel, new, crazy, like wow, and it completely changed my life. I'd love to speak more about it as well. I want to do more videos on these kinds of things, but this will do for now. Anyway, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you listening to my rambling. To my rambling. And yes, have a wonderful day. All right, bye-bye.